Good morning. Good morning. Hello, everyone. Hello. Hi, Marcia. Hi, Allie. Good morning. Good morning. Hi, Vivian. Good morning. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Feel like we all live on separate planets and we're in our little space stations in front of the screen like Interstellar to check in. Hi, Daryl. Hi, Bertina. Okay, so kimchi for breakfast is always a good idea, especially if you're ever living in Korea. Hi, Shane. Yes. So good morning, everybody. Good morning. Hi, Laura. Good morning. Good morning. And welcome to the fourth Yoga Talk number 4. Now, these talks have some information. Each time I'm intending to explain some information about my practices. Hi, Lawrence. Hey, bro. And then also to my goal is to also pay some attention to what you're saying and maybe afford some kind of conversation. I don't know how well that would work, but I'm going to attempt to try that today where you can pose some questions. And hi, Matt. And I'll attempt to answer, and so we can have some exchange while we're live. Because I'm now replying to every message that I get from you guys. And so I'm attempting to keep up and sort of develop some kind of curriculum that you guys are wanting and asking through the feedback. So, and no one has made any comments about the Ali picture above me yet. I was expecting some pictures of like some comments about Ali, but nothing yet. So now we have, over the past 3 talks, we have gone through some simple teachings that have really helped me. And so one of the things I wanted to do is just to review those simple teachings. For those of you who didn't see the other talks, I wanted to just go through the main teachings of the previous days. So my first talk that I gave was based on the idea of intentionality, of having clear intention with what we do. And the deeper understanding for me came from the idea that intentionality, like having an intention and fulfilling the intention, becomes highly satisfying. So we say, I'm going to get up at 6, and then you get up at 6, and there's a feeling of satisfaction that you set out to do it and you did it. We went through some practices, the morning routine that I have of pranayama, meditation, the oil pulling with coconut oil, and the apple cider vinegar tonic that I drink each morning. And I also spoke about doing a morning journaling routine where you can basically reflect with yourself about how it is you wish to be in the day. What I do in the morning is I write about what it is that I wish to live by, like what are the values, or what are the ways of being that I wish to live by in the day. And then I finish the day with a journaling about how well I was able to live by those ideas. And so it's sort of a self-reflecting backwards at the end. And then the final thing of the day is I write out my day plan for the following day. The intentions of the next day I do the night before. So intentionality was the first one. The second one was about alignment. And I spoke about Mount Kailash, which is this picture that my good friend Stephen shot while we were there some years ago. And how alignment has been so key for me. Now, it's key in a variety of ways. One is alignment has shown me or has been taught to me and revealed to me to relate directly to discipline. And we know that discipline, at some core level, alignment to our disciplines is based on knowing what we want. And this brought up the question, the horrible question that we all have meltdowns about, which is, what do you want? What do you want? And so I shared about how the yoga practice is a place where we can, over time, become more clear and more familiar with what we want. To understand what we want, we need to understand who we are. So I discussed how going deeper than the thinking mind, going deeper than the information mind, going in, we can facilitate that through meditation, through pranayama, through asana as well. But you go into the deeper realms of our being. And the third day, which was yesterday, I did guardrails. So yesterday I talked about how I use mantra as guardrails for my mind, and it channels clearer concepts of why I practice and why I teach also. They overlap. And I went through the Ganesh mantra, talking about how Ganesh's mantra helps to align my mind with the notion that the practice creates challenge, difficulty. And Ganesh being the remover of obstacles, that we embody the Ganesha-ism, we embody the Ganesha archetype, and we become more skillful at suffering, at discomfort. We become more skillful in solving problems, working with our body, the aches and pains of the body. We work with it. We don't run away from it. We don't freak out. I mean, we do, but we don't. The aim is to not. And I'm getting comments about wearing the same shirt every video. I just thought it was like, you gotta like consistency. Steve Jobs, like do the same thing and it becomes like there's some kind of tonality to it. Anyway, so the guardrails of mantra. So we had Ganesh mantra, then we had Saraswati's mantra. Saraswati's mantra about wisdom, the goddess of wisdom. Knowing that when you abide by some disciplines that are authentic to you, that over time we can discover something deeper, which we could call wisdom, the wisdom that exists within us. The challenge is that we're constantly living by our thinking mind, and our thinking mind is so deeply woven into our desires, our emotions. So like you can want stuff, but it doesn't mean you need it or should have it. So I find myself battling that constantly in this over time, this negotiation, or this, I should say, this resolution of recognizing, is the thing that I'm thinking about true for me, or is this just sort of a crazy state of my mind? And so the Saraswati mantra brings us into a deeper level, recognizing that we want to go through some challenge to know what's true for us, to live by this wisdom. And we did the student-teacher mantra, Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu. And this is a great reminder of how we are working together and how we are not alone, and actually, going it alone, just learning on your own and doing it on your own can work for some people, but for most people, we benefit so much by having partnership, by having mentors, teachers having students, all of that woven in together. This combination of working together, we see each other's blind spots, and sometimes directly, sometimes indirectly, we reveal these blind spots so that we can grow. Now, hi Venus. Okay, so now the final mantra I talked about yesterday was the Ahum, which is the Vajra Guru mantra, the Ahum, which is the body, speech, and mind. Some of this stuff sounds esoteric, or like, some people will throw it in a bucket of like it's so spiritual or whatever. But it's actually, I've found over time, this is so practical. If you think about what affects our day, you can think, well, the state of my body affects the way I'm living my life. If my body feels bad, I'm having a bad time. Speech, if I'm saying things that aren't true, I feel remorseful. Or if I'm over talking or talking negatively, it impacts my experience deeply. And the mind, our mind, the quality and the content of our mind. If we're constantly thinking in these patterns that leave us negative or closed or angry or critical or depressed, then the quality of our life is deeply impacted. So body, speech, and mind. Om, repeat with me. Om, come on. Om, ah, hum. Om, ah, hum. Om, ah, hum. And, okay, May, I'll see you tonight in class. The body, speech, and mind is sort of the starting point of understanding yoga. Body, speech, mind is this triad that works together. That leads us to today. So today's talk, I wanted to talk about, more specifically, I want to talk about the path. The path of yoga, what that means. And it's broken down into simple components in the source teachings, like Patanjali and the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, etc. It's broken down in ways that I found very helpful. So the path of yoga is a complement of discipline and self-discipline. It's a complement of external behaviors and practices, like asana, like getting up and doing things. Getting up and finding the rituals that help you and do them. And these are disciplines, like you're following that. And then self-discipline is studying the effect on you. We can do things like asana every day. And look at us these days. We're doing tons. Everybody's doing tons. The internet is exploding with yoga. You know, they're talking about how they have to ask Netflix to slow down their stream because the internet's overloaded. I fear they're going to write a letter to the yoga teachers like us and say, whoa, 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 no more yoga for a while. But the thing is, with yoga, with self-discipline is like no one's watching. No one's watching. And not only is no one watching, meaning no one else is watching, sometimes we're not watching ourselves, you know? And so the practice has both these external behaviors, these disciplines, and these internal reflections, the quality of attention that we have turned back towards our own mind. This is much harder. That's much harder. Like self-discipline is torturous. It's murderous. It's so hard. In order to cultivate self-discipline, sometimes I think self-discipline is like self-love. Like to truly appreciate and embrace ourselves like we would embrace someone else, like someone you fall in love with or someone that you admire so much and that you do anything for. These attitudes and approaches of loving someone else, working hard, you think about someone that you work for, how hard you'll work. They'll say, can you stay late? You say, yes, I'll stay late. Will you take a pay cut? You say, yeah, well, maybe. But you say, I'll do it. I will work so hard for you. And this is can be very positive qualities. However, when we compare that to how we act to ourselves, like when our deepest self says, I need to sleep, please. And we say, no, I need to work late tonight. Or when our deepest self says, I need to meditate. My mind is crazy. And something in us says, no. I need to read the news, or I need to there's something else more important. We forget that this orientation to ourselves should be primary. People often say how yoga is a selfless journey, and I would disagree. I think yoga is the self-oriented journey, that you have to take complete embrace of ourself, and to truly appreciate that there is a message coming from inside. Not every message coming from inside is true. There's so many mental and emotional reactions that are, not true. But there's a message inside that's coming through that is the one we need to learn how to abide by. Like, that's the ultimate discipline. That is the ultimate discipline. And to, right now with everyone at home, like so many of us at home, this is such an amazing landscape to experience this, because I think that we could all agree, like, being stuck at home, being out of routine, going to work, being able to like do things for other people, take that away, and you become crazy. You become like, it's like, oh my God, like, keep your pajamas on all day, drink hot chocolate at midnight, just like, maybe I'll have another bottle of wine. It's Wednesday night, but who cares? The world's ending. It's so easy when no one else is around to disobey what we know is so true for our heart, and being like dedicated to the well-being of our own heart and our own mind. And that's really tough. That's really tough. I think that the underlying teaching of this for me is that this is not easy. And we like to think it should be easy. Oh yeah, follow your bliss or follow your heart. It's so easy. It's not. Or like, just do what you love. These teachings I find so unassumingly challenging. So therefore, in order to live into those teachings more authentically, we need discipline. If self-discipline is loving, knowing your heart, and being fully in ourselves and living that authenticity, then discipline is learning that. Discipline is the process of learning that. And so the practices that we make, the schedules that we make, there is like making a daily routine. Keep it simple, but make a daily routine, and act like your own CEO. Like, be your own CEO. Be your own, money manager. Like, whatever person we give our power to and say, yes, I'll abide by your rules. Take some of that and put it inside and go, you know what? I'm going to refrain from these things that keep making me feel bad. I'm going to refrain from them. And I'm just, for a while, I'm going to pretend to be the person that I, abide by, the rule makers that are outside of us. And you grow your capacity to follow what's true and helpful to yourself. My heart goes out to people who have really difficult situations, people that have financial issues right now, or family issues or health issues. Like, you add some of that to the mix and self-discipline is hellish. But similarly, when things are good, we can be really kind of self-sabotaging and lazy. And so to be your own CEO, to be your own sort of marketing manager or whatever, be your own accountant, well, you start to go, wow, I listen to those people in my life a lot. I listen to them. I do my best to follow their orders. What would it feel like to follow your own orders, to follow your own, like, incredibly well thought out, logical structure of your day and your time? Yeah, we talked about how incremental improvement is unstoppable. Incremental improvement. Yoga, that's the bedrock teaching of yoga. Incremental improvement is unstoppable. And so we work towards our own authentic self over time. And it is a process. It is not, there's no, finish line. It's just like it's ongoing. And I think that all of us suffer one aspect, which is we go in and become quite disciplined and even self-disciplined, and then we move back out. And when you move out, you feel shitty about yourself. So then there's this negative wall up. But we just got to go back in and we go back out. I mean, in my years of practicing and studying yoga and teaching yoga, I have gone into incredible spaces feeling very authentic and illuminated, and then fallen out and been exhausted and having terrible habits, and then coming back in. And it's just like continually coming back into what we know is good for us. Not what's good for everyone else. What's good for us. That's the hardest thing. It's actually, I think, easy to do what's good for other people. And that's a big part of life too. But if it's at the expense of what is good for us, how we need to eat, how we need to sleep, how we need to speak, if it's at the expense of that, the whole show goes up in flames eventually. And yeah, what did you say? Joe just said, it sounds like how compounded interest works. It's true. It's true. Incremental improvement is unstoppable. Now, one of the questions I ask myself is where's that question? How much effort is enough to create positive change? How much effort? Whether we're looking at ourselves in a way about our health, like losing weight or healing an injury, or putting our finances back in order, or healing a relationship. Any of those things. It's endless, every piece of life. And we say well, how much effort or discipline is enough to create positive change? How much? And it's a good question. It's I ask myself that. It's how much is required for positive change? No one can really tell us, but it would be in our best interest to test the theory, test it out. And that is where yoga comes in for me. It's people say, I can't do yoga, I'm stiff. Okay, take any problem in your life and say, I can't because of this. The body is the bottom, that's the bottom of the barrel. The body's the last thing. So you go, let me see, can I make my body more flexible? Can I make my body more flexible? How can I make my mind a tiny bit less negative? A tiny bit less negative. And you go, okay, let's try. And with yoga, it's every day. The way that yoga has succeeded for me in a tiny way, I'm barely catching on to things, right? And Jake Leishman, my man, there you are, cuz. The way yoga has helped me is that a little bit every day is the only way. A lot once in a while has proven nothing for me. A tiny bit all the time is how anything has actually come for me. Anything that's come to fruition or come to value has been a little bit every day. And starting with our own body and our own mind, this changes everything else in life. Everything else. So you cultivate some tiny guidelines, some guardrails for your own physical health. Start with discipline. Just do it. Just mark it down in your nightly schedule. Say, tomorrow, 15 minutes of this, 5 minutes of that. Start tiny, and do it every day. I practice every day. Basically, I can't take a day off. I do less some days. I do more restful some days, but I can't take a day off. Primarily because as soon as I take a day off, I find it hellish coming back to the next day. So I just, you know, it's better. I mean, I'm probably less self-disciplined than most people. So I just need a little bit, bang, every day. I just keep it, even if it's like a tooth floss thread I'm hanging on to, just from day to day, swinging like a vine from a tree, like a monkey from a tree to a tree. I just link them. A little bit of pranayama every day, a little bit of meditation every day, a little bit of asana every day. And this is what helps to keep this slow momentum going. And that incremental improvement, it builds. Incrementally, it builds. And a tiny bit over time becomes this wave, which we describe as unstoppable. And that is so helpful. There is so much benefit. Oh my God, so much benefit. The benefit of having a good habit is unmeasurable, immeasurable. Having a good habit that is in you, not thinking about it, how many things we think about we're going to do and then we don't do. It's like having it in you where you just do it. Let's do it. That meme, right? That meme, you know, first the yoga, then life, or first the yoga, then the stuff. It's true. It's true. So today's talk was about discipline and self-discipline. Make some disciplines for yourself. Start small, go simple, and do them every day. Every day. And challenge yourself. Challenge this theory. Challenge it. Self-discipline, turning towards yourself, facing yourself, understanding yourself. You know, adults like to think they're doing that all the time. Not. I see. I mean, the one major gift of being a teacher for 20 years is watching how the most intelligent adults, and that's not me, I'm not the intelligent adult, but the most intelligent adults who have success all outside, they're not really taking stock of their mind and their heart and what is true for them, often. That's why people feel bummed out and pissed off and sad and disappointed. So, but the beautiful thing is, start today. Just start today. Turn the lens slightly in. Okay, so write me tons of comments, talk about Ali or talk about my shirt or whatever. Ask me questions or give me some comments. Let me know what you're thinking, and we stay connected. You know, I love doing this with you guys, and Mount Kailash as the axes of the universe. We now practice asana. So roll out your mat and then staying on this channel. The class is on this channel. So here we go. Hi, so. And we will begin our asana. It's a level 1, and hope you stick around. So I'm going to turn off and turn it back on for the next flow. Okay. Love you, Liz. Bye, guys.